I begin today by acknowledging the Wurundjeri people of the Kulin Nation, traditional custodians of the land on which this podcast is recorded today. Also pay respects to the elders past and present, and extend that respect to any other Aboriginal or Torres Strait Islander people who may be listening today. This is Melanated in Melbourne, a podcast designed to give an insightful look into the Australian lifestyle from the lens of two Black American besties. Welcome back, Melanation. I'm Ri'chard.
And I'm Nicole.
And this is Melanated in Melbourne.
Melanated in Melbourne. We're back.
We're back in the booth.
Happy New Year.
Happy New Year, hoes. I mean, well,
no,
if the shoe fits, we're celebrating hoetry.
Hoetry, because listen here, we pro-ho over here.
Pro-ho all day, every day.
Pro-ho all day, every day, baby.
2025 is the year of the hoe. It's the year of the snake, technically, but it's the year of the hoe.
It's the year of the rat? No, it's the year of the hoe.
That's the year of the hoe. And we're celebrating hoetry. Is that a word? It is now.
It is now.
But we're back, and obviously you notice, we're visual. Well,
you can see our faces.
You can, unless you're listening by audio only, which is still fine.
Yeah,
we still love you, but a little bit less.
It's okay to listen.
We're putting a lot of work into this, so we prefer you look at us so we can,
yeah,
you know? And like, if you're listening, you don't know what I just did.
Yeah, exactly. he just made a very, what was it?
It was like a sensual / aggressive eye.
I don't want to say sometimes I have a weird relationship with the word sassy.
A
weird relationship
with
the word
hate the word
right?
sassy.
Like, I don't mind it because she is a cute sounding word, but I know that when it's like applied to something like us, it's just like, you're not saying that in a nice way.
No, and like, especially in college, there were a handful of gays in my fraternity, and the one word that people would call us, they would call us sassy. I'm like, there's so many other words in the English language you could use. Calling me sassy, like, no, I've done so much more than that. I've given you so much more than that. I've put you in your place 7,000 other ways, but calling me sassy is just reductive. And I'm like, please don't.
Reductive.
Don't,
That's a good
don't
word.
do it.
Don't do it.
Don't do it.
Don't
but
do it.
How have you been? The last time we recorded, it was 4 months? Wait, 1 month.
Oh, no.
Carry the one.
This is terrible. We're starting this off with time.
We are.
Wow.
We are.
Wow.
Because even though this is season 3, it's kind of season 1 for our visuals. So we kind of have to bring everyone back. Some people are just discovering us now, which is fantastic. Welcome to the party. We love you.
Yeah, way to discover. Christopher Columbus. No, I'm kidding. Thank you.
Not colonization, 1492.
We've been here. Okay. I'm going to be way too live.
It's because we can now there's visuals are like, now they can see the chaos in the booth, because usually they can just hear it and assume what's happening.
Yes.
It's a mess. It's a mess and a half. We're going to be knocking mics and heads all over the place.
I had just punched my mic before, so yeah, I'm off to a good start.
So I did the math in my head while we got lost on that tangent, and it's been about 3 months since we were here. What's been new in your world since October-ish?
Oh my gosh. Well, I mean, 2024... Listen, like, when the new year rolls around, I don't necessarily like to celebrate the death of an old year as well as celebrate a new year, but 2024 was very good to me. However, there were still a lot of ups and downs, but it was very, very, very busy, and I'm so grateful for that. So it was just a mad push to the end of the year. I got an amazing opportunity. I got a speaking role in a movie, which was really, really exciting.
Celebrity status.
They flew me up to Sydney. It was the most incredible experience because I don't know. I was just so happy to be booked that I didn't think about doing the job necessarily until I got there. And they were picking me up from the airport in a limo. And then they took me to the studio, which was massive. And then I got to see my headshot on the wall with all the other headshots of all the other actors in the movie. And I got to see people that I grew up watching, realizing that I'm going to be acting with these people. And I was like,
You were among your peers.
Crazy. How am I up here? I just got started. But no, it was an incredible experience, and I cried so hard at the end of it because it was just such a dream come true, and that's kind of how I ended my year, but then I was still getting auditions after that, so this is all very much a humble brag of how busy I've been.
Don't even be humble about it. Like, stand on that shit. Say it louder. Lean into the mic. No, I think that's amazing because especially now for us, like the podcast, I'll get back to our group accolades later, but I listened to the first episode again, and first season, and we were just talking about what we would hope for ourselves, and like, oh, I just booked this thing, and it's kind of whatever, but I'm like, nope, stand in it.
Yeah.
Because it's the start, and like, more and more, it's just like everything's kind of snowballing into place. As we said, we're going to get our bag. We're getting it. And it's exciting, it's overwhelming, but we're doing it one day at a time for sure.
Screaming, crying, throwing up, but happy at the same time. You just got to take it all in, I guess. It's just been a lot of fun while in the midst of trying to charge up my career. I'm also in the midst of like planning a wedding. Oh, I can show y'all the rock now. Bam.
Oh, there you go.
Boom,
Bam.
bow. Boom, bow.
We'll zoom in for that or something.
Oh, no, but my nails aren't done. Okay, just can you put little emojis? If you could just put little emojis.
Little shimmery emojis around your fingers.
Just there. The other fingers. Okay, anywho. But I'm in the midst of planning a wedding that is going to be taking place in July of this year, July of 2025. And let me tell you, wedding planning is not for the weak.
It's not.
And I don't even think of myself as a weak person, but it has turned into the people pleaser Olympics for me, which has been very tough to navigate. Very tough to navigate because I'm not great on speaking up on boundaries.
Yeah. But you are definitely getting better. In our 4 years of friendship. It's 4 years and a couple weeks. In our 4 years of friendship, you've just slowly, progressively been able to say no better, no stronger, no with more emphasis, no with no explanation, just no.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I'll say the no. I'll be like, no.
And then you'll run behind the scenes.
Yes.
Runs off camera.
Turn around, or I'll put like a little sheet over my head and I'll just start to cry because I feel like the meanest person on the planet. But what this has shown me, like this whole exercise of planning things and dealing with the expectations of other people and the wishes of other people, it is so much better to establish boundaries early on rather than say, you know what, maybe it'll be fine. Maybe it'll be okay. And then you just try your best to kind of
to make it
get
work,
through
to force
it,
a
but you're hating it. You're hating it the entire time. You're like, this isn't what I want. This isn't what I want. This is what other people want. So it has been, it's been a challenge. I did November.
Yes.
Where I said, well, I failed at November, y'all. I was supposed to say no to everything, but I'm still busy as hell.
No, so I'm actually gonna check you on that one.
Okay.
You said no to things that you would usually say yes to, and you were saying yes to things you usually weren't able to. So being able to see your friends more often. You said no to people demanding your time without consent or without a consideration of what you already had on. You did stick to November very well. Like you said yes to the things that were important to you personally, and you took a step back professionally. You were able to let yourself be like, you know what, I'm gonna be a person a little bit. Yeah. Because at some point, like during this podcast, like, y'all know she's busy. Y'all know Nicole is busy. And then plenty of times there was like, oh, can you do this? Like, yes. And Nicole said yes to 1,000 things. I'm like, Nicole, are you okay? She's like, yeah.
Oh my gosh.
I'm good.
Such a yes slut. I'll just be like, yeah.
And I'll just be like, yeah, let me just take that from you because you're about to die. Let me just put that back.
For real. I feel like I'm about to explode. And I'm just like, because I think at the point in the beginning, I'm like, oh, yeah, that sounds like a really cool thing. Might as well do it. But I'm like, you know what? If I would have taken like a few more seconds to really think about what it would entail, when is it going to happen? Do I actually have time? Do I actually have bandwidth? When you think a little bit more, well, I shouldn't be admitting that on camera. I'll be thinking a little bit more, and it turns out things work out for the better when I do that.
I mean, that's a real life lesson though. People do not think. Sometimes they just act because they feel that urgency, and that's one of the things I'm stopping myself from. Like I'm not in a rush anymore. Like I'm taking my time. I'm always the friend who's early. I'm not always the friend that's punctual. But when I realize I get there first, and I'm still waiting, like this is not a shade at Nicole or any of my other friends.
This is shade at me.
This is not shade. This is a general statement. Like I will get ready and feel this stress inside me that I have to be the first one there. For what? To sit there and
I'm feeling very attacked. But okay, but no.
Well, you're gonna get over it. Powerfully getting through it. I know you will. I believe in you. But as I was saying, just being more present and be like, I'm going to take my time. That rush, that stress, that anxiety does nothing for anyone.
Nope.
If we're all going to the same place and, oh, no, there's traffic. Someone else got delayed for another thing. We will still get there when we get there, or we'll adjust. Like, oh, we'll just go faster with this section, or we'll cut this piece out. Like, there's no real reason to rush in this life anymore just because everything's always on fire. There's always an urgency. There's always something to do. If you're there early and oh, cool, I did this thing. Now what? Yeah. Now there's more stuff to do. There's always more things you can be doing, and my insides hurt. Like
for real.
Rest is so important. But in the last year, like in the last couple of months, the podcast itself has had a lot of really great milestones as well. One being we're literally on camera now, and that visual editing. People who create content regularly, they deserve their ass ate on the regular because this. Let me explain. This is not. The way in which wedding planning is not for the week, editing videos is not for the week. Those little 30-second TikToks people are posting, that takes hours sometimes. Like getting the right angles, switching back and forth between each other. Like when we do our viral post, we'll go back and forth and be cutesy. But on the YouTube, when you follow us on YouTube, because we have a channel now, when you follow us on YouTube, it's just going to be static because there's no way in hell I'm editing hours on hours of content being like, now Nicole's talking, now Ri'chard's talking. Let's pan out. No. Yeah. No.
So what we're saying is y'all need to appreciate this.
Yes, appreciate this. Appreciate people who are creating content because 9 times out of 10, people are not making money for this. They're doing it for the love of the game. The game is rigged.
The algorithm is crazy.
The algorithm, the Al Gore, yes, Al Gore, Inconvenient Truth. It's just a mess. But going back to the positives, we're doing visuals now. We have a YouTube channel. We got a grant to put on a live show. This is actually airing. Look at that, we got that.
Yay!
It's actually longer than I remember. Is that normal?
That's what she said.
So we were given a grant to put on our live event. It's actually happening simultaneously. We're doing a launch party right now. So if you're listening to this, you probably should be on your way to the show. Actually, it depends on when you listen to it. It really doesn't matter. But this is happening concurrently as our live show. And we're so grateful for having received those funds. And it was just so wild. Again, listening back to episode 1, we're like, we had 200 people listen to us, and now we have like how many people at the show? We have how many tickets sold? Strangers are finding us on the internet, asking us about our experiences. Someone messaged us out of the blue. I'm not going to say their name because I didn't ask for consent, but they reached out being like, hey, my kids found your show, and we're listening, and we're actually considering going back to Australia from America. Yeah. And like they changed their flights. They were in Hawaii. They changed their flights to come to our live show. And if that's not, I don't know what else to tell you. Like you can't tell us shit. Like this work that we're doing, it's so much bigger than us, and I'm grateful to be here doing it. It's way more big. It's much, way more biggery.
Oh no!
See?
No.
Yeah.
That was, okay, last time we pushed that button.
You realize other people can change these buttons all the time, so maybe we don't press the buttons anymore.
Lesson learned. Lesson learned. But I'm glad the applause fried chicken button's still there.
Applause fried chicken button. Yes, we love. But no, we've got that. We've got the show. We're on the 3rd season. We're getting invited to fantastic things. We're collaborating with individuals, and we're just taking off. Like I don't know where this is going to be. Actually, let's manifest some things at the start of the season. Let's manifest some new things. What would you like to see for the show?
Oh boy. What would I want for this season? I'm just hoping that it reaches more people. I'm really excited for our launch party and being able to see people like tangibly see them in front of us, because usually we're just shouting into the void and hoping that it reaches someone. So it'll be so nice to see that. I'm just looking for more connection, telling more stories. Getting more trans voices on here to tell their stories. Let's see, having more fun, because I think that's also like vital for what it is that we're doing. Yeah, just a little bit of everything. I don't know. I'm just trying to see the train keep going.
Yeah.
Yeah. What about you?
For me, I want an editor. Like I want someone to, like, obviously the way that we want our story to be told, we would still be having heavy input on how they're cutting things out, but someone to cut out the ums and the ahs, someone to cut out the pauses, someone to chop it up and make it look all cute for social media. That would free up so much time, because as much as I love this, I realize the more that we get into editing, now we're on visuals, social media, all these things take so much time, and it's really hard to do. Like, still working a full-time job, still trying to be a person. Like, I would love to still keep progressing personally, but also this, like, I love the shit out of this project. Like, no means I'm like, oh, it is a labor of love, and I mean that. It's like, I will continue doing it as long as it still feels good. But I would also like to still be alive. Like, I don't want to wake up and like, wow, I went to work and I edited a podcast and then went to the gym and I cleaned up and I had 10 minutes to myself. So for this to take off well enough, for the live show to be successful enough, for us to sell enough merch, to like not be rich and famous, but just be comfortable and still telling our story, while also still having fun and being friends in real life. Because obviously this is not a stage thing. We're not paid actors. Well, one of us is not a paid actor.
Well, hold up now.
One of us is a paid actor, but like this, we do this out of love. We like actually want to still hang out and be friends and be humans. And still enjoy life. That's what I want. I want a bit more balance. Like, I'm happy to do this, do as many episodes as you guys want and as feels right for us, but a bit of balance. So being able to get an editor, having more help, having a team.
Having a village.
Having a team.
The podcast is like a child.
It is.
It's like a child.
And it takes a village for sure. Like the amount of times that our good friend Swoop Luke has been on the pod before has helped us out a gajillion times, especially with like YouTube things. The way in which I'm in that man's DMs all the time. Like, Luke, this is broken. I can't figure it out. And he's like, oh, it's this. Absolute gem of the earth. But like, and even doing the event, the application for our grant, we've had a full team helping us out, applying for things, filling out the documents. And it just has felt so right and better. And obviously when they're not available, because we're doing this for free. Like we are still doing this for free. So support local artists because Lord. But doing this for free, a labor of love. When they're not free, you feel it. You feel that absence of help. And whenever it's there, you also feel it. So yeah. that's my main big old takeaway.
Yeah, because it's like we need community. We need a village to help us do what it is that we need to do. And it's been nice that we've had some support so far. But yeah, we're just looking to expand. We're just looking to expand that. So
absolutely,
I think that's great.
On the word of community, like that is one of the things we were gonna quadruple, triple,
totally.
What's another IPPL word? Triple, quadruple,
nipple.
Yep, nipple, quadruple, triple nipple. Why are you holding the mic?
Because I feel like I need to move it sometimes, but it makes a little noise.
It's almost like it's recording every sound and touch.
It makes noise.
But what I was saying was like community. If you've been engaged with the podcast since the beginning or you just now started, welcome. We love you. And the main thing that we are harping on is community because we created Melanated in Melbourne as a group chat first where we're like, we just want people who share our experiences here and building upon that because the world, like I said earlier, is always melting. Everything's on fire, literally and figuratively. And we're all we have.
Yeah, we actually need each other in order to get through it.
And that's one of the things we really want to emphasize. And at the event, whether you're talking to strangers or like just building those spaces and like finding your community, finding your niche and like leaning into it because the arts are what's going to get us through at this point. Like it takes a village. I'm exhausted, but I get more energy by knowing that I'm not doing this alone. Being able to be like, we are exhausted, but sharing that exhaustion. If I'm less tired, I can lean into this. If Nicole's less tired, she can lean into that. And like doing those things together, absolutely brilliant. That's what we're going to be trying to emphasize with our guests, with our content, with our stories. And one of the things that I really want to move into is actually a rant.
Yay!
Because we're trying to be a bit more, I guess, structured with the podcast, like introductions. Hey, we're back. What's up, baby? And then we want to do games. Am I the asshole? Culture shock. Rants and raves. I want to rant about. I know I've already talked about this briefly, but video editing. Really, like, who did this? If you don't know, I studied sociology. I did not go to college for any kind of social media, AV, anything. So editing the podcast, that was a feat. But thankfully, like there's Descript and it's very helpful with the transcribing things, which makes it easier editing for stories. But when it comes to the videos, the reason we waited till season 3 was because it's hard as shit. Like the way in which we posted a teaser trailer that was like a 4-minute Q&A. That 4-minute video took me about 2.5 hours to edit. And I'm not going to say it's not even good. Like it's not thorough. Like it is very much just like, here's the thing, here's what we are, here's what's going on. But when I tried to make a smaller handheld size video of us going back and forth, it took 45 minutes for a 50-second video. How? Like, what is this? And then you make it, and it's kind of just like, I'm not going to get upset about it. Like, I love this, but you got to study for this. Like, why is it this hard? Why?
Because it's art. You know, you want things to look a certain way, sounds a certain way. I mean, like, it's kind of like what my job is. You go out onto a set. You have to be there early. You have to be there on time. You have to know your lines. You have to record maybe like 10 hours, maybe almost 11 hours on that day, on a shoot day. Yep. All for it to be condensed down into 15 seconds. Like all of that entire day, and the camera shots and the angles and the script and the people on set and the client being like, oh, can we try this? Can we have her do this? Can we have her do that? And you're taking all this stuff in and pivoting and everything, all for it to be condensed down into 15 seconds that people may just skip right over. So it's just like, you got to do it because you love it. Because if you didn't love it, you wouldn't do it.
Yeah, and that's one of the things I'm absolutely learning. And like, I will tip my invisible hat to the creatives who like this is their passion. They've been doing it for ages because it couldn't be me. Like I love this and I love this particular project, but if someone said do that for another thing you're not involved in, I'm like, you can jump off a cliff.
Yeah. Immediately.
Like I won't do it. So good for them. good for us, I guess. I mean, we will get there. But the second thing, of course, I have 2 rants because I have a lot of feelings.
Yes.
I want to give a shout out to all of our friends and family members and like just our general supporters who have been there from day one when we were like doing next to nothing and we're like begging people to listen to our things, because it's very interesting getting to this point where we're starting to pick up steam. People are starting to recognize us and notice us, and people who were suddenly like, oh my God, I love your show. But I literally remember 5 seconds before at the start, I can scroll back to the messages and be like, hey, listen to this. And you just left me on red. So the bandwagoners can kick rocks. Like if you're a bandwagoner, buy something. Make it worth our while, because this is wild. Like we literally, people are like, oh, I know you have a podcast, but I just didn't listen to it. Like it just doesn't seem like my thing. Like if it's not your topic, cool, great. But like objectively speaking, we're funny as fuck. Like we could be talking about a box of rocks and just be dying.
Yeah, you know what? I think people have been talking about this on social media. Like a girl went on a rant of how, as we've talked about, what a labor of love it is to put out content. And a girl was talking about how friends don't support other friends' content and how frustrated she was at that. And I certainly understand it. But at the same time, I'm not going to beg. I'm going to just say what I have to say, put that stuff out there. And if you're on, that's cool. But if you're not, that's all right. You got to get with the winning team.
Yep.
You got to get with the winning team. And if you don't want to be on the winning team, that's cool. But that's it. You're just getting left in the dust.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And that's one of the things, maybe like midway through season 2, we had a conversation like this where we're like, we want these things to happen. We want these people on our show. We want something to happen, but we're not going to beg for it because we know our value and we know what we bring to the table. And if you are interested, you will find a way. Like there are strangers who hang off of every post. Like they like every single thing we do.
Is very sweet.
And shout out to them. Like y'all are, I don't know how to do the uwu rock. Like what's the, I just flicked off the camera.
Stop it. Did you just throw up the blood?
You know what? Yeah, I did.
On crip.
As I wear this.
Is it this guy? Is it this guy?
Well, so like I know the old one because I'm a millennial. Like,
yeah,
but like
we go like that. Maybe it's this.
I got it. Like this one. I give
him some wings.
It's terrible. Like I just showed my age and gave myself arthritis, but that's okay. But no, it was just like it's just very interesting now that we're starting to move into that space where the bandwagoners are starting to appear. So they can kick rocks, but the ones who have been down for us bad, like sharing every single post, like y'all are real for real. So like that's my rant and rave, but it's wild. Like this is a pivotal spot, and I think now that we're doing visuals, it's going to just continue to skyrocket even further. So I'm glad that we have our base and like the ones who rock with us since day one, love you to death.
Yeah.
And the people who are new, welcome to the board.
Welcome. But you know what? I think I'm at a point in my life where I'm just, I don't know. It's like not everybody can come with. Like, not everybody's going to like me. Not everybody's going to be my friend. Not everybody's going to be a fan of the art that I create. And that's totally fine because the people who it's supposed to reach, it'll reach them. So if people want to jump on the bandwagon, I'm like, they're just trying to get with the winning team. So I ain't going to kick them off. But if they have like a genuine interest and people have, like you're curious or you just want to see what it's like. Because like we said in season 1, some people still think Australia is a made up place. They don't think this is actually real. So we have to show them. We have to show them that it does exist
with visuals. It is
real.
I mean, we could still be in America just hiding in a box.
That is true.
Like,
we could be lying. We could just be like, we could just be gaslighting y'all right now. We're actually on Jupiter right now.
I was gonna say Saturn, but that's just me and SZA.
Which one is do you have a favorite planet?
Mars.
Mars is a good planet.
Mars for sure.
Mars is a good planet. I think I do like Saturn because I like that she has accessories. I like that she has rings.
And she has SZA.
I think I like that Venus is cool because I think Venus is just a cool name. Justice for Pluto. Are there any Plutonians out there? Who are like, because why I always wonder like why'd y'all have to snatch Pluto's like, why'd you have to snatch her title away? Like she didn't fulfill.
Size queens are going to be the death of all of our planets.
Yeah, because it's like, why y'all going to snatch her title away? I mean, like that doesn't even make sense. She ain't do nothing wrong. She just being Pluto.
She's literally just floating there. Like imagine hating me and I'm just floating in space.
Exactly. Imagine hating me and I'm just Pluto. Justice for Pluto.
Justice for Pluto.
Yes. I said what I said.
Oh, actually, I have a really fun, it's not even a rant, it's just a story.
Cool.
Like a general life update. Like in the last season, I had a housemate, his name was Anxious Andy, and he got a few little guest spots, like guest references on the show. But now Anxious Andy is gone.
Oh, no.
You know what? Sure.
That is not the right word.
That's the punchline of the joke. Anxious Andy is gone. Anxious Andy, believe it or not, was horribly anxious and really shot himself in his own foot and just kind of isolated himself to the point that, like, I wish him well, but it was a mess. We were going to extend our lease, and he was like, oh, maybe I do want to extend. Oh, maybe I don't. Or maybe I want to do month to month. Oh, maybe I can't afford it. And I'm just like,
I'm trying to plan what I'm trying to do with my life, and you're just
it's like, please get out. Like, just go. Genuinely just go. And I was also just going to go live alone again because I remember how easy it was just to come home and everything's just sitting the way it was.
I get it.
And the producers of this live show basically had one of my friends post to be like, hey, anyone have a place in this area? And I'm like, you know what? Yes, actually. Yeah. Let's do this. So now I have a new fantastic housemate. His name is Ali. He will be on the show.
Yeah, who's such a sweetheart.
And he's from the UK.
And we're using his real name, so that's how you know.
Yeah, that's how you know it's real. Ali's going to be on the show. Calling in now. We have him scheduled, so it's one of the things we have coming up. But the way in which that house is a sitcom, this man, he's 22 years old, but like it's very interesting. He's like super mature and then not at all at the exact same time. It's just so much fun to engage with and watch and just see where, like, I'm excited to see where his life goes. Like, Ali is going to be a name you remember. I can guarantee that much.
Yeah, I call him Prince Ali. Prince Ali, fabulous. Actually, you know what? We don't want to get sued this season. That's something I'm manifesting right now, so let me not get us in trouble.
I mean, last season we said we were going to blow up or get canceled, and we're not canceled yet, so.
Uncancelable. No, I'm just kidding. I'm yelling.
Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, sometimes you got to just shake shit up.
Shake it.
Shake it up?
I mean, but not the mic, please.
Yeah, I won't touch it anymore. I already punched it, so. So you?
Oh, did you have things that you wanted to talk about specifically today?
Yeah, because it's like this year, 2025, has started off with a bang, and I'm excited to also talk a little bit more about this acting thing and improv thing this season. I want to explore a little bit more of that. I talk about the highs, but I also really want to talk about the lows. Yeah. Because it can get so crazy.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I'm excited for that. Oh, actually, I forgot to mention that we are now in partnership with Joy Media.
Yay! Joy, we love you.
We love you, Joy.
Thank you for having us. Thank you for seeing us. Well, yeah, literally, thank you for listening to us and seeing us. And then, just giving us a chance to spread our message. That's really cool.
Yeah, so for anyone who's not really up to date on our whole spiel, when we applied for the grant, we're not an incorporated organization, which is a goal that I'm manifesting for us, to be an incorporated organization. Saying that 3 times fast is so hard as shit. But because we weren't incorporated, we had to get a sponsor. So we basically reached out to a bunch of different organizations, and Joy replied back immediately, and they listened to some of our stuff, and they were like very engaging and interested. So not only were they our sponsor to get the grant, which we are very grateful for, we're now syndicated. So while we were doing live new episodes on our platforms, they are going to be syndicating our earlier seasons to be played on the radio. So this is just, it's overwhelming. It's super exciting, but now we have to like edit our episodes to be within 55 minutes. Yeah. And that means going back to listen to them again. So my brain is on Throwbacks nonstop. So I'm so sorry. Like in season 2, episode 4, you said this. I'm so sorry for Nicole and her time blindness.
It's amazing that they're going to be syndicating our show and spreading it to an even bigger audience. I think it's going to be Wednesday nights. 10
to 11.
10 to 11, which is really exciting. I can't wait to see what comes from that. Yeah. And our event is also in partner with Midsumma. Mm-hmm. So we have like a lot of Midsumma press stuff starting as well. This year is hectic, y'all.
It's so busy. Like we are booked and busy. And it was so funny because in the earlier episodes, I was like, we want the podcast to be here. It's going to be a pivot for Nicole's career. And I'm going to be there smiling. And then at the red carpet, I'll be like, bah. Bah, +1. I don't have to do anything. That's not true. I have to do stuff as well. It's exhausting.
I hate doing stuff.
I hate doing stuff.
We have to do so many things.
There's so many things. Like, but again, I'm going to get tattooed as a labor of love because labor of love or LOL.
Wow.
The brainwave.
Yep.
The brainwave.
Real.
But genuinely, like the press releases, the calls, the interviews, the media, the graphic designer, like all the pieces, like it is blowing up. Another thing I want to manifest for us is to get picked up by someone who just wants to do it for us. Whenever we started the podcast, shout out to Louis Hansen, met during summer camp, and he had was very well known in the podcast community, and he just kind of gave you the tips that you either have an idea and you sell it to someone like Spotify immediately. And if they like it, they'll take care of it and they'll do all the things, but you have less creative control, you get less money, or you do it yourself, you grind, you fight your way through it, and then eventually you start to pick little waves, and then people are like, hey, maybe I want to get involved. And that's the route that we chose to go with. And I think season 3 is going to be the time where it's just going to and that manifests in that as well. So
I have a very strong thought that I want to say, because I don't think we talked about this in the season 3 planning, but now that we have visuals, I want us to eat Australian food. on camera.
Well,
and give our reviews.
We would have to do it somewhere else because we can't eat in the public library. We're still in the state library.
We're still in the state. Shout out to the library.
Shout out to the state library. Her full government name.
But I think we'll just sneak some food in here. I'm just gonna sneak some stuff in here.
And then put it on the internet where we have visual evidence of it.
They don't even know. Listen, these people, every single time we show up to come into the studio, people are like, we have a podcast studio? The people here in the library, they don't even know that we have a podcast studio. They're not going to be combing through the internet being like, are these niggas eating in there? Like, I don't think
like, that wall looks familiar.
Yeah, they're like, look at them crunching with them nigga lips. I don't think they're going to be doing it.
To be fair, I do think the turnover in the library is insane because I don't recognize none of these hoes. We've been doing this for like 2 years, and it's always somebody else. It's always some new person. And we come to the same days, so I honestly think the turnover will be bad. So maybe we will. Maybe we will just eat in the public library. We're gonna break the rules. We're breaking the rules. Either we're getting canceled or famous.
Period. And we crunching. We munching over here. Can you tell I'm hungry? Okay.
Yeah, Ice Spice, I can tell.
Wow, that's a great thing to talk about. Ice Spice is like just do.
Yeah. I mean, to be fair,
she was taking off. It was a very quick ascension, but that crash has been wild to witness because she just got booed off the stage here in Australia.
Oh yes, at BTV. No, in Perth. I think.
In Perth, yeah, she got booed off the stage.
Yeah, I actually don't see. The thing about how am I going to phrase this?
Oh boy,
I'm not going to drag her. I'm going to drag society, like the way that we view people on social media, especially because Ice Spice was just a random person fucking around with her friends, making videos, and it went viral. She was not classically trained. There was no extra things, and she was just thrust in the spotlight so quickly.
Yeah.
And they were like, oh, she can't dance, she can't do that. I'm like, that's a 23, 24-year-old girl who was just vibing, minding her own business, having fun. And then y'all made her a celebrity and wondered why she wasn't classically trained for these things.
Yeah.
And it's like, sometimes people fuck around and they don't have straight up talent the way that is classically expected of people.
Artist development.
Yeah, there's no artist development, thank you. And they're just genuinely enjoying themselves and they're trying to catch up as fast as they can. But as quickly as she blew up, and she was, because we saw Ice Spice a year ago, 2 years ago.
I shook all of my ass at her performance. What was that called?
Listen Out.
Man, because I was definitely there. I was like, I am the ice tray, whatever we were calling ourselves.
Yeah, the ice picks.
The ice picks, whatever we were calling ourselves. I was there because I really loved her.
The ice rack?
Yeah, whatever it's called. I was there. Ice Cube. I don't even know. Never mind. That is a real person. But anywho, I was there. I enjoyed it for what it is. It's good time music. You don't have to think too hard about it. Like, I think there is a place and a time for like deeper things, but with the craziness of the world, I think it's also important to just enjoy some things.
Yes.
And she just made fun music like that, but then
and they wanted more. They wanted her to be
and
at
she
this
kept
level.
talking about poop, and I was just like, I don't think I can do this anymore.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good for her. But realistically,
you think you're the shit, you're not even the fart. And I was like, okay, I'm just getting my luggage and getting off the train now.
That song eats. Everything else after, I don't know anything about it. But you don't go eat a hot dog and get mad that it's not a steak. I'm sorry. You don't. Like, you know what this is.
Yeah.
You found some person on TikTok. You made them famous from TikTok. Yeah. Expect a TikTok rapper.
Yeah.
If this person was grinding, they were in the streets, they had these mixtapes forever, and they were fighting for this for like 10 years.
Oh, my God.
Then expect them to be fire.
Like my
Doechii.
girl, Doechii.
Yeah, I knew.
Doechii.
We didn't even rehearse this. We were just like,
I love her. I love me some Doechii down. I've quite literally have been listening repeatedly to Alligator Bites Never Heals. She's just so creative and she's just so unapologetic about the art that she creates, and I find it so inspirational. I've been listening to the album, I've been journaling, I've been writing everything down because she inspires me to do so, because she made that album in 30 days.
Yeah, I saw
30 freaking days. That's so impressive.
It's insane. Yeah, she made the whole breast like, I'm dropping a mixtape, and it's like wasn't even done yet, and I'm like, girl, that's drive. Like,
and made an incredible thing. And I'm always in her comments being like, Doechii, go ahead and write those Grammy acceptance speeches. I'm like, go ahead and do it, girl. But then at the same time, I'm like, how important is a Grammy? Like, how important is a statue? Does it validate the art? It does. But at the same time, if art doesn't necessarily win an accolade, I don't think it devalues it.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think it's something nice to have. I think it's nice to have.
It's nice to be appreciated, but
nice to be appreciated.
You should be appreciating your work for what it is, and when you know that your listeners are appreciating it. And I feel that way about anything we create here. Like, if you appreciate us, great. Like, we over the winter break? Over the podcast break, we applied for podcast awards. We didn't get it. We made it to like not the semifinals, but like we made it past one round.
Oh, we did.
And then we didn't get anything.
I thought it was a scam. I thought we got scammed. They just took our money. It was like, y'all didn't win nothing. But that's good that we found we
got through a round, and it was disheartening because I love our product. I believe in what we're putting out. But again, there's so many podcasts out there, and there's so many different options that are available. But the Grammys, these podcast awards, any of these accolades, you want to acknowledge people for doing well, but there are so many people who are also doing well. If the competition is stiff, everyone is still putting in like their hard work. Doesn't mean that they're lesser for not winning.
100%. I mean, like that happens all the time with like movies. It happens all the time with albums. Like, I mean, there was like a big stink a few days ago because people are very upset that Demi Moore won for The Substance at the Golden Globes, and she beat out Cynthia Erivo for Wicked. Mind you, the Wicked effect took me from head to toe. Yeah. We went to see the movie. I cried my eyes out.
Nicole was holding on for dear life.
It reached all the way into the very molecules of my soul. And I see that Cynthia, it affected her so deeply. And the same thing with Ariana. I think that's why they were crying in all their interviews, because when you do things like this, you're like putting your heart and soul out there. And then for people to respond to it so deeply, I can just only imagine how like emotionally shaking that is. So I get why they were crying in every interview. And they just did such an incredible job. But people were so upset that Cynthia didn't take like Best Actress. And I'm like, it doesn't devalue her performance. No, it was still amazing. It still reached, it's like a global phenomenon.
Absolutely. Like, and the thing is, like, I saw The Substance. Like, I'm not a body horror person. I'm not a horror. Like, it was objectively an incredible movie. Yeah. Demi Moore, she put her pussy on all of it. She was like, let me just whip it all around. Like, she killed that role. And her, Margot Qualley?
Don't know who Sue's name.
Yeah,
I don't know who Sue's real
also
name.
did it. Like, they were fantastic. And the fact that Demi Moore, like, not to say that anyone's ever due or owe anything, but Demi's been doing this for decades.
40 years.
And had never gotten any kind of accolades or any for work. And
never. She's never won anything.
In her speech, like, her speech was so powerful. Like, while, again, all those roles were incredible, when you put people up against each other, being nominated, you were, quote-unquote, the best of the best in that category already, first of all. And someone always has to win. Like, that's just the way life is. No participation trophies for everyone, unfortunately. It would feel less worth it. But she killed that movie. Fantastic acting. The message was wonderful. Like, that was a great film, objectively speaking. They were all great films. So just like, well-deserved win.
We're eating. We're eating. We're getting fed. Like, we're getting fed. Just appreciate it.
Honestly, 2024 was a great year for movies, great year for film.
Music.
Just everything was just, so good. We were eating well, and I think we should be more appreciative of the fact that art, like I said before, art is going to get us through. Art is absolutely going to get us through. You're
going to say something controversial, aren't you?
No, it's just there's something we have to do that I don't want to do.
What?
We're going to have to talk about the election.
I don't want to.
I don't want to
I don't want to, especially since this is going to be on YouTube. I'm almost like not even wanting to invite the chaos in of people's responses to it, but at the same time, it's the elephant in the room.
It would be very disingenuous of us to not.
Yeah.
Like, it'll happen at some point. Maybe I have a few friends who are like political correspondents who are baddies as well with their own podcasts as well, so I'm going to see if we can tee something up with them. But art will get us through whatever the next step of all of this nonsense is, because while still very grateful to be here, and we're both almost citizens in this room. Loading, pending. It's rendering. Your citizenship application's rendering.
Little pinwheel.
we did make some progress. I will not drag Nicole. We made a bunch of steps. Like we went through like a good few pages of the application process is lengthy. It is so lengthy. They ask you your mother's favorite color and all this other stuff. It's thorough, but we're getting there. We're happy to be here, but again, we want to encourage everyone to, if you are still in a place that is not ideal, everyone can't run away.
No.
Everyone can't escape. No. Everyone can't run off and do, I'm going to run off these problems. And those of you who can, wonderful. Those of you who can't, don't be discouraged. Continue to fight the good fight. Get involved. Community is everything. Check on your strong friends, because those strong friends are like, I've got it. Yes. Do they though? Because all of these are unprecedented times for every single day of our life.
I wish we were unprecedented.
Well,
I wish we did not have to do it, but it's crazy. So I guess if anything, like, don't, even with what fresh hell awaits us this year, do not let them kill your spirit. I have always lived my life by the thought that every moment of joy is an act of rebellion.
Absolutely.
Because they want you to feel down. They want your spirit to be broken. They want you to give up. They want you to lay down and die. So every time that you can just find a way to put one foot in front of the other and just keep progressing, even if it's hard as shit, just go ahead and keep going, baby. Because we're going to be right there along your side. We're going to be walking with you.
Absolutely.
We cannot let them take everything from us. We cannot let them kill our spirits. It's what they want, and I won't give it to them because I'm stubborn.
Me too. and now you can see us, and now we're going to be like, you got this, baby.
Yes.
Keep pushing through.
Keep pushing.
And I think that's one of the main things I really want for the podcast. Because, like, again, we started as, like, a fun how-to guide. And then it was like, oh, there's more need and there's more this. And now community and being there for each other and having the ability to remind everyone that they're not alone. Obviously, we can't be best friends with everyone. But I would love to also make this become an actual organization where people get together and let's all meet up and go get drinks. Let's all go to a protest. Let's all raise funds for these things. Like, I want this to actually become a community of people. Like, we love to engage with you guys. We can't be everyone's best friends. Like, that's not physically possible. No. But there's been so many people in our DMs being like, oh, I would love to meet up and hang out and do these things. And I would love to get that going. So that's another thing that we were hoping to do at some point in the podcast, because community is everything. Doing this together is the only way through. Like,
it's the only way through it. So it's just like no person is an island. You need connection. Like, you need connection. Like, whenever disaster strikes, the first thing you ask for is help.
Yep.
The first thing you ask for is help. That it's what you need in order to get by. You need somebody else.
And the decision to ask for help, the ability to do is often the hardest thing for a lot of people. Like, myself included, like, I'm getting better at asking for help, but it's very difficult. Everyone always in the back of their mind is like, oh, I don't want to be a burden. Friendship is burden. Like, it's the burden you're accepting. Like, I'm happy to be burdened by you because your friendship is not just sunshine and rainbows. So
it's easier to carry a burden when it can go on additional shoulders.
Yes.
It is hard to carry burden on just two shoulders.
Share the load.
It's like share the load. No, that is not. Somebody has messed with the buttons.
I'm actually
Somebody has messed with the buttons, and none of the buttons that I push are the ones that I want. That's the right one.
I guess you just have to come in early and check where the buttons are. I like this game. Me personally, I like this game.
I don't like it.
Well, yeah, I think another goal for us is just to, like you said, to keep having fun, keep being unapologetically you, unapologetically Black, unapologetically queer, unapologetically here, because so many pieces of our identities are always going to be under attack at any point. 100%. Being a woman, being an expat, being anyone on the spectrum, just so many things that are not this perfect box of straight, white, rich, all these things.
Yeah.
But that's not new.
No, it's not new. But I'm going to look in the camera right now so y'all understand how serious I am. 2025 needs to be the year of the ally. So if you don't fit into any of those boxes that we have just mentioned, or if you do fit into one of those boxes but you don't think other people's issues are your problem, I'm telling you right now, you are wrong. We need our allies. We need other people to speak up for other disenfranchised folks. We need that now more than ever. We cannot be silent. We cannot be complicit. We must make noise. And you know I'm going to be loud. I'm going to be like Jennifer Hudson loud. Like, you need to be using your voice, especially if it's not necessarily on a social media platform or a public platform. You need to be talking to your families when you hear them say some bullshit, and you need to check them on that. And you need to be strong enough to be like, no, that's not correct. You have to speak out. For evil to prevail, good men must stand by and do nothing. And that's a correct use of a Martin Luther King quote. But that's what we need to do. That's what you need to do. We cannot be silent. We cannot be complicit, because silence is violence.
Exactly. You can't love us privately, love our content, be like, hee hee ha ha, this is so much fun, and then not stand up for us when it gets hard. Because again, that's not true friendship. That's not true connection. That's not true allyship. You can't be like, oh my God, you guys are so funny, and then vote for things that will hurt us. Like, that makes no sense. So for our white allies, it's okay to be white if you do something with it. Like, if you do something with that privilege, it is okay. Actually, it might even be all right to be white. You might get an upgrade, but if you're just enjoying our content and we're just entertainment to you, look at yourself.
Yeah, but it starts with you. It starts with you. If you see an injustice or you see something that you don't necessarily agree with, you got to speak up, because I think a lot of the time people are just too worried about, like, shaking things up, and they're perfectly fine with the status quo.
Yeah.
You know, because they're fine, they're taken care of, but you got to speak up.
Yep.
Speak up.
Raise your voice.
Yes. Listen. All right, sorry.
Is that the first Beyonce reference?
It may be first Beyonce reference
First
of the year.
Beyonce reference of the year.
Yeah,
Wow.
yes. Yeah,
Look
no,
at us go.
I'm very excited. I'm excited to see what Cowboy Carter does at the Grammys. Because I wonder if they're going to have her perform, because the Beyonce Bowl was spectacular. It was so cool. It was so cool. What do you think she's going to be announcing on 114?
I think it's the visuals for Cowboy Carter. Because remember, she allegedly recorded Cowboy Carter first, but post-COVID, she was like, oh, y'all need to dance. So she gave us Renaissance first. Yep. So I think she's going to give us Cowboy Carter, because like she was shooting guns in the trailer. Yeah. I think she's going to give us Cowboy Carter visuals and probably an announcement for the Cowboy Carter tour. Yeah. And then when the Cowboy Carter tour starts, we're going to get the visuals for Renaissance. That's my prediction, everyone.
That's a good prediction to have. I think... Because I don't think she's going, like, because Renaissance was such a big tour for her, and I can just only imagine how tough it is, like, doing that many cities, that many things.
Well, she left out the Southern Hemisphere.
She did.
She left out the whole Southern Hemisphere.
But it was probably one of the biggest tours she's ever done. It's like so many nights, and like multiple nights in multiple cities. Numerous cities.
Which is why it could just be a Southern Hemisphere tour.
Yeah, that'd be really cool. Just hit the South. But I'm wondering if it's just going to be Act 3. I'm very excited for that as well. I'm going to take whatever, again, I'm going to just eat. I'm just going to snack on whatever it is that she
Take what you're given.
Sure enough, because... yeah, nothing is promised. We don't know how long this ride is going to go for. So I'm just going to, whatever she wants to give us, it's probably going to be a new shampoo. Yep. Who knows?
He's like, I've got a new line of dog collars.
Yeah, like who knows?
Bow Beyonce.
Yeah, Bow Beyonce. Bow Beyonce. But yeah, I'm excited to see what the future holds. But I think Blue Ivy's birthday was just the other day. She's officially a teenager, which is so, I know, which is so crazy. She just turned 13. But again, she killed it at the Beyonce Bowl. I'm just always in awe of the fact that we don't really hear Blue talk a whole lot, and why would we necessarily?
It's a 12-year-old, yeah.
She's a child, but
don't ask a 12-year-old her opinion on the world.
But the amount of people commenting on a 12-year-old, like grown ass adults, like she went to the premiere of the Mufasa movie.
Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa. Sorry.
Aaron Pierre, that's Mufasa. Shout out to the Jennifer Hudson show. I know she's watching. Yeah, when people just take it upon themselves to always like comment on her, and I was like, I don't know. I don't really argue on the internet anymore, but watching people be so giddy to tear down, like at the time, a 12-year-old girl just because she had her shoulders out on a red carpet. They're like, she's not dressed appropriately for a 12-year-old. And I'm like, first of all, this is not a regular 12-year-old.
No.
Second of all, she was covered. She was fine.
There was a shoulder, okay.
She looked beautiful. She looked like one of my Barbies. Like, she looked incredible. Incredible. She was in a ball gown. How more elegant, how more opulent can you get?
People will find a reason to talk shit about anything, and that's why we just have to keep shining louder and brighter than it.
Yeah.
And for every shitty comment, you're like, you know what? I'm not going to fight with you, but I'm going to post commenting something positive. And that's been my goal of the internet. Like, I'm not going to be like, let me fight every single person in these comments because I'm going to be tired.
Not.
And I know
it's draining.
And I do expect that at some point because so far we've not really had any hate comments, any of our things yet.
Yep.
But we're on the internet now. Our faces are here. Like, it's going to come. And at the same time, when it happens, I mean, I hope you feel good about it. Like, because it's not going to bother me. I'm just going to be like, cool. Great. Like, I'm not going to try to argue with someone because at the end of the day, I don't know you.
Yeah, that block button is going to be
if you don't have my number, you don't have the space to tell me about my own life. So
yeah, because essentially, like, somebody can only belittle you if you give them permission to.
Yep.
So I don't really care because I feel like people who are faceless on the internet, like, you're too ugly to even show your face.
Amen.
Like, you're too ugly. Like, so you're ugly on the outside, you ugly on the inside. That's why you don't have a picture in your profile. So it's just like, what can you say to me that would really hurt my feelings when your ugly ass is living in squalor, having to attack people on the internet who you don't even know? Like, just get a life, get a grip.
Maybe get a hobby probably as well.
Get a job.
Go outside, touch some grass.
Do something. Just do something else with your time. But yeah, the internet boldens people to be anonymous and sassy, full circle.
and we're going to encourage people to do the opposite. We're going to let it embolden you to speak up when things are fucked up, to encourage each other to lean in, to create something, to be your fullest self, because there's no time like the present. And if you've been listening from the start, the energy that we brought in season 1 versus energy bringing now, we're growing with the show. And this new era, we're going to be loud and unapologetic about it. So stay tuned.
The show must go on.
And it will, with visuals.
Yeah.
But, I mean, I think that's a pretty good place to stop, don't you think?
Yeah. I'm excited to see what this year holds. And for people who are out there who are going through a tough time, I hope that our show gives you a bit of light. I hope that it gives you a bit of enjoyment. I hope it gives you connection. I hope it just gives you some laughs. And if it's a bit of escapism, that's cool. I also hope we touch on things that have been close to your heart that you're like, I wish somebody would say something about this. I hope we speak on that as well. So, yeah, thank you. Thank you for tuning in. Thank you for listening. Thank you for being here.
Yeah. And until next time, I'm Ri'chard.
And I'm Nicole.
And this has been Melanated in Melbourne.
See ya. This has been Melanated in Melbourne, a podcast that analyzes the Australian lifestyle from the lens of two Black American besties. Visit us at melanatedinmelbourne.com or follow us on Instagram to send us your comments or questions. Thank you for listening.